I'm here with George Parros, and tell me when it begins for you. You had a long season. Did you get a rest, and what are you doing here?
Yeah, well, it depends. I mean, where you finish with the season. So this year was a short summer, so I didn't have a whole lot of rest. It took probably about a week and a half, 2 weeks off, and then started my training again. So I've been here since like July, and I just come here to prepare for camp and stay in the best shape, make sure I report in good shape. We are on Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. On Wednesdays there's a regen where you come in and you cold tub, hot tub, stretch out, that type of thing. So I mean 5 days I guess, but four hard working days. We have one main coach that takes us through everything, and there's a couple of guys that help him out. Usually we have a big group, but it's whittling down now towards camp, so there's only 3 of us today.
Let me ask you this. You must have been pretty strong academically to end up at Princeton, because Princeton's not just giving out gifts of admission. So tell me a little bit about who you were in high school and what interested you academically.
Yeah, education's always been valued in my family, and I was fortunate enough to have a good high school education in New Jersey at Del Barton. So I started out there, and that's probably where it cultivated. I always made sure to put academics first, and then I was always dedicated to hockey, and I focused on hockey. But that set the stage for Princeton. So I got into Princeton, and more of the same. Just managing my time with the classes and the ice time.
Now, you are an economics major. Do you have plans on putting that to use later, or is that just something that you studied? Is that something that's going to be a part of your life later? What do you plan on doing with that?
I hope I can parlay my education and that background into a job after hockey, of course, but I don't know if I plan on being an economist at all.
You just signed on for 2 more years with the Ducks. So tell me a little bit about that and your relationship with Berkey.
Yeah, it's good to be on for 2 years. There's a lot of us that have signed on for 2 years, so I'm happy to be with a group that's going to be able to look forward and play together for a little bit. My relationship with Berkey is a good one. He's a guy, he's a hard-nosed type of guy. He likes his old-school hockey, and obviously I fit into that, playing physical and the fighting as well. But he's just a good stand-up guy. He speaks his mind, and he's a really brilliant hockey mind.
Let's talk about your role and how this has evolved now. As you mentioned, the fighting, you're a physical presence. One thing I always wanted to know about guys like yourself, Brent Severin, Nick Fatiou, I don't know, you go up and down the line. A lot of those guys will say, I'm most effective when they see me sitting on the bench and I don't have to go do anything. Are there a lot of nights where you just know that your presence is helping to keep the other guys honest?
Yeah, definitely. I think it always keeps the game in check, and sometimes people don't realize that. There's games where if I'm out or injured, then the other team runs around like they wouldn't play before. It's happened in Nashville. It's happened in Detroit. Like, if you're not on the ice, then all of a sudden they feel stronger and bigger, and they start thinking they can push you around. Well, so it's good to just even be on the bench.
What do you think about what they call the code, and then tell me what you think about the instigator role?
The code, I think, is it's definitely unwritten. Some choose to follow it strictly, so others not. I think that most of the guys in the league, most of the fighters anyway, they realize that we're all doing the same job out here, and we realize our roles on each team. We know what we have to do. So there's certain things you wouldn't want to do. You wouldn't want to hit a guy when he's down on the ice, and some guys tend to do that, others don't. It's just there's a lot of gray areas, and for the most part, guys follow it, and I think it hasn't been a problem. Some guys are known as, breaking the rules more than others, but I use the term rules lightly. But it's just something that it has to be there, and otherwise it'd be mayhem. So as far as the instigator rule is concerned, I support Berkey. I think that we need to do our job out there, and I don't think it's going to promote more fighting. It's just going to be able to keep us, or it keeps us right now from doing our jobs more effectively. So if we have a couple more instigators before we're suspended, then I don't think it's going to cause more fighting. It's just going to allow us to do our jobs a little bit better. Did
you always envision that you would end up in the enforcer role, or is this something that just kind of happened? Is it always going to be your role? What do you think about the enforcer role?
It's something that was developed actually when you saw me in the rookie camps in LA. That's when I decided that I'd start to add that tool to my kit. I realized that if I was going to be playing the physical type of hockey I do, I'm going to have to learn how to defend myself. So I started to fight in the summer programs and the rookie tournaments that the Kings had growing up, and that's probably started around the college time. So as soon as I turned pro, I started to throw a fight in there every once in a while, and it kept me around and kept me useful to the team. I don't envision myself being a fighter all my life. I think I'll always be able to, but I'd like to obviously focus more on hockey, because that's what I've grown up playing at all the way through college. I was always just a player. So I'd like to focus on that game and hopefully be able to put some more points on the board in the future, but always still be able to go if I have to.
What do you need to do to become an 82-game-a-year guy? Is that on your horizon?
Absolutely. That's what I hope to do every year. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Injury prevents that, and obviously the role that I play does too. But that's definitely my goal. I want to play every game. I want to be useful. I want to be have a solid spot on the team. So what do I need to do? I need to learn my position better. I need to play better positional hockey. I need to work on my foot speed and quickness.
How about shooting?
Yeah, I could obviously get myself in a better position to shoot more. I think my shot itself is good. I just don't get a chance to use it very often, which probably is a product of me not getting in the right situation, maybe not moving my feet, but also, ice time and, just the type of role I play right now.
Tell me about the fourth line mix. I think that the fourth line is often overlooked by the media, but it's a very important cog in the wheel, even if it is 8 minutes or 10 minutes a night.
At this level, we're all good players, so you're not going to, get in a situation where it's not like you don't want to play with anybody. So, it's obviously great. This past year, Todd Marchant was just as the way the lineup went this year. He played with us in the fourth line. He's a superb fourth line center, and he's always great to play with. He makes things happen out there, and you're not even a fourth line at that point. You're in the mix. You're in the offensive zone and getting chances.
Things changed for the club when he came back, for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's a huge part of our year last year. So it's great to play with him. It's always good to play with someone else like yourself, like someone that gets the way you play. So if Sean Thornton, me and Thornton played well together. We knew, the type of game we play. We know we'd both be in the corners. It's easy to play with someone like that. Ryan Shannon was out there with us a bit. He's fast, maybe too fast for us, But anybody you play with out there is going to be great, and I think we have a solid lineup, all four lines, so we're looking forward to it.
GeorgeParros.com is not your site. Want to make that clear?
Yeah, that's right. I have nothing to do with that. It was brought to my attention about halfway through the year.
Someone's really into George Parros. It's a really nifty-looking site.
Yeah, they did a good job. It looks nice. I have nothing to do with the content on it, but don't hold me responsible.
Tell me the different kinds of leadership that the Ducks had, and tell me how that gets you to a cup.
We had plenty of different kinds of leadership. There's all types, and we had a lot of veteran guys for us to look forward to and observe on the ice and kind of play the way, take the mindset that they did. I think no doubt the leader in the room was Scotty Niedermayer, who's cool as ice, calm and collected, doesn't show a whole lot of emotion, no big ups and downs, and that's the way I think that we played all year. We didn't get too high in the highs and low in the lows, so he really set the tone in the locker room and led by example more than anybody I've seen, so he was just amazing to have around the locker room. Teemu was great. He brought the energy all the time. He just loved being out there, and you could see it, so he really fed off of his energy and his love for the game, and that was great too. And then we have a lot of older guys, Pronger really said what needed to be said at the right time, and Sean O'Donnell has been around the league for years. He's always put in his 2 cents too, so it was a great mix.
Are they the most vocal, Pronger? Who's the most vocal guy in the room?
Well, it used to be Shane O'Brien until he got traded. So
he was one of the youngest ones too.
Yeah, he was the youngest.
He's chirping.
Oh yeah. So once he left,
giving speeches, motivational speeches.
Oh yeah. He's the first-year tenure. He's the loudest guy in the room, and first year in the league. So he was fun to have around, but the locker room definitely got more quiet when he left.
That's funny. All right, George, I really want to thank you very much for joining me on Hockey Talk Audio today, and I wish you all the best, and I'm definitely looking forward to covering the Ducks, and thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, Josh, thanks.